So it seems like that massive wave of reinforcements from the north was just a scripted story event. But at least we've got Ira, and finally we get to actually use her. That was just a pretty cheap kill, but she needs the experience, because she starts a little bit behind some other people. And healing staves are actually pretty cheap to repair, so you don't really need to worry about using them that much. Also, yeah, Dew can have a conversation with Edain after you've captured Genoa, where he gives her a warp staff, which is a possible reference to the original Shadow Dragon. In fact, now that I think about it, a thief and a priest escaping from bandits and a recruitable enemy sword user in the same chapter, that does sound awfully similar. Anyway, the warp staff works differently to the way it normally does in this game. Basically, it warps a character to any allied castle. It is useful in a few circumstances. And Eltasane's men are just going to finish off the last of the Hahin troops. It's almost as if all these knights have the uber-forged javelins enemies get in Shadow Dragon. That's a bit of an inside reference that not many people are going to get. Even Elliot's pathetic compared to these regular soldiers. And he's gone. Yeah, you'd better run. Right, so that threat's officially gone. Now we can focus on Gandalf. But you might have noticed before that Ira could talk with Cuan. It's important that you don't miss that conversation, because even though it doesn't give you any items or stat bonuses or anything, it has some very, very important backstory info, which you're going to see in just a minute. Seems like a rather obscure conversation, but it is important. The music that plays during this conversation is actually the Isaac theme. And this conversation doesn't give you any items or stat boosts, but it gives you some very, very important story information regarding the situation with Isaac. Who exactly was the leader of Revolt? I'm not sure you ever find out. Interesting. It seems like somebody wanted the war between Granbell and Isaac to continue. That would make Ira and Shannon the last remaining members of the royalty. And now we just need to get into position to attack Gundolf's castle. And it seems like Eltersane's work is done here. And he's leaving without giving Sigurd a chance to thank him for coming to save him. In fact, I don't think Sigurd even knows about it. And you didn't actually get to see before, but if you look at Eltersane's stats, you see that he actually has a legendary weapon, which is actually the legendary sword of the House of Augustria. But that'll come into play in the next few chapters. Yeah, you want Ira to be at the front of your attack on Gundolf's castle, because the enemies here are very good experience for her, and she needs some experience because she will become very, very good. And as much as I can go on about how amazing Ira is, and I've done that pretty much for the last few parts, you could easily forget that you also need to pair her. Now, thankfully, Ira is so amazing that her children are going to turn out good pretty much regardless of who you pair her with. But there are a few pairings that make her children absolutely crazily overpowered, though. And the main ones are Holland and Lex. Most players generally pair her with one of those two. Both of them can also give her a pretty good item later on, and they're the easiest pairings to make. I'm going to be pairing her with Holland, but if you want to pair her with Lex, by all means, have them stand next to each other as much as possible this chapter. You won't regret it, seriously. Both pairings are amazing, and their children will turn out ridiculously overpowered. But still, that being said, even though those two are the best, Ira can pretty much work with anyone except for magic users like Azel. And if you put Ira in that forest there, she'll easily lure out all of Gundolf's army at very little risk to herself. And if you get lucky with Astra, she'll probably kill quite a few of them too. No, Sigurd's had enough experience as it is. Yeah, this should lure them out. And they have no chance of hitting whatsoever. I would have wanted her to activate Astra, but anyway. Again, this is pretty much of the same enemies you've been seeing before. And it is important that you save that village, because there's some very important story info there. And Eldersane's gone. Oh, she actually did get Astra there. Too bad she didn't really need it.